Right. Welcome, Lindsay. It's lovely to
Thank
chat with
you.
you today about your experience in the Happy Without Histamine method. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Luann Hopkinson, and the Happy Without Histamine method is our program that we use to help people just like Lindsay. So, let's start with how were you when you started the program, or just before you started, with your symptoms and your knowledge and mindset?
My symptoms, is it okay if I'm specific about my symptoms?
Yes.
My symptoms were terrible. I started in December, and all of December my symptoms were pretty bad. So prior to that, November, they were iffy. But basically on average, I had about 50% of my life. My symptoms specifically were full body paralysis from the chin down. And then the chin up, I could sort of blink and I could sort of speak. That would happen sometimes for up to 30 minutes to an hour. And then the rest of that was rare. That might happen once a month. Thank goodness the last time that happened was December 26th, and today is April something. So that was
April
a big,
30th,
big
yeah.
highlight that's the last time I had a full body paralysis. But anyway, the other symptoms were extreme full body weakness, or sometimes I'd look like I had a stroke. Sometimes my hand would just lock into a position. So those were what I call my primary symptoms. And they were what was relegating me to about 50% of a life, because some days I would be great and I would have no symptoms, but then the other 50% of the time I would not really be able to function very well, or it was extremely difficult to function and I would just have to push through. And then I have these secondary symptoms. Those are the primary symptoms. Then I have these secondary symptoms that I thought I was just going to live the rest of my life with, because they're nothing compared to being paralyzed. And turns out I don't have to live with those secondary symptoms my whole life, but they were skin issues, digestive issues, itching, bloating, so things like that.
Yeah, so overall, you had a symptom score when you started of 223. That was a lot of symptoms in a lot of areas. And now, well, at least a couple of weeks ago when you filled in the form, they reduced to 65. So it's a big change.
Oh, it's a big change in the number, but it's a huge change in my life. I haven't had any paralysis since in the last 4 months. I had
Mm.
one minor weakness in my arm one day. And other than that, those primary symptoms are gone.
And you've also mentioned, so you had other symptoms that are mostly gone: bloating, mid-back pain,
Mm-hmm.
sort of hives, itchy,
Yep.
acne stuff.
Yep.
And those are all pretty much 80–90% gone.
So, and then I also had, I mean, I weighed 169 pounds when I started the program. And that was another thing. I didn't care. I didn't care how much I weighed. I just, I could live with that as long as I stopped being paralyzed. And I've lost now 22 pounds or something. So I just today, I think I weighed 147. So that's another huge change too. So weight loss, the acne and the itchy. The acne kind of comes and goes. I'm in a stressful phase right now, so it's kind of coming back a little bit. The itching, like just itching all over, that's still about 80 to 90% gone. The bloating is about 90% gone. The mid back pain, 95% gone. Is that it? I think that might be all.
That's it. And so now that you've completed the program, what tangible changes did you experience?
Well, a lot of tangible changes. The biggest one being that every day I can function at 100% of my strength, versus 50% before. So I have this whole life back. I don't have to prior to the to starting with you. I had to literally scan my body every second to figure out if I was about to have an attack of this paralysis or weakness. And then I had to implement my own protocol on what to do to prevent it, hopefully, or stop the attack. And so I haven't done one of those every 1 second body scans for months. That's a huge change. So I'm not mentally just focused on making sure I can survive. Another huge change. So I came into this because I wanted to stop the paralysis and those symptoms. I didn't come in because I knew anything about histamines. I didn't know anything about histamines, but I followed the program, and part of the triggers for my periodic paralysis was food. And so I could eat very few things because so many things would cause me to get weaker or paralyzed. I can eat everything now. Now, I'm not going to be like a big proponent of junk food, but today with my parents, my sister, my son, we were at Wendy's, which is a fast food restaurant here in the United States. I don't know if you have it in Australia. I ordered a cheeseburger and I ate it and I'm fine. There's no way I would have done that before. I've been able to start having coffee again. I've been able to sometimes have some ice cream with my boys. And it's so those life changes where you can just participate. I don't have to bring my food to restaurants anymore. I can just be one of the group and just order from the menu. My sister gave me a giant hug today. She's like, that's the first time I've ever seen you order from the menu. It was incredible. It was incredible.
That's wonderful.
Okay, so those are two huge life changes.
And there are a lot of other things that you mentioned as well, like temperature, exercise, those kinds of things too.
Right. I used to, so many things used to trigger these attacks of paralysis and weakness. So if I got too cold, if I got too hot, if I overexerted, sometimes I could exercise a ton and nothing would happen to me. But if I exercised a lot, then sometimes something would happen. I'd get weak or paralyzed. If I was in the same position, like riding in a car for a long time, that would cause an attack. Today, I was just in the car for a total of 4 hours. I'm fine. I'm trying to think of what the other ones were. Oh my gosh, I used to be able to just like list them all off. But if you have the list, you feel free to add to it. But none of those things trigger me anymore. Yeah. I stood in the rain and freezing cold at my son's soccer game the other day, and I was fine.
Yeah, wonderful. And any other benefits to the program that you didn't expect?
Well, I'm trying to think. I mean, life encompassing. You just gave me my life back. I cried when I told you that before. And I guess here's a benefit that I knew nothing about brain retraining. I didn't even know what that was. Maybe surprisingly, because I'm an occupational therapist, so you'd think I might have known about it, but I didn't know anything about it. And I had done all the other stuff that you include in the program in the past. Turns out I realize now in retrospect, I've been chronically ill since I was 14 and on and off, not with this disease, but with different diseases, different things, back pain, kidney problems, all these different things. And so over the years, I've tried all the different diets. I've gone to specialists. I've done supplements. I've had testing. I've done all of these things. And so when I knew that your program included food testing and supplements, that wasn't the big bang for me. I mean, I hoped it would help me, but I really feel like for me, what was the unexpected, I had no idea would save my life, was the brain retraining.
Yeah, wonderful. And what was your experience like of using the tools in the program, the brain retraining, breath work, somatic meditation, and the MAP rapid rewire?
Okay, so the first month I started with you in December, and so I said that December was terrible. So for my symptoms, so I just with the brain retraining, I learned about it and I implemented the diet right away. But then in December, I was learning about the brain retraining, and then even that day that I mentioned on December 26th, when I was paralyzed on the couch from my chin down for that was about an hour that day. I literally was doing the brain retraining exercises in my head. I couldn't move anything to do the physical exercises that you teach us. what I was doing in my head. I just kept doing it on faith because I'd watched Angie, who healed from your program. I'd watched her save her own life, literally. And so I just went on faith that this was going to work for me because it worked for her. And I just believed it would work. So that brain retraining has been the biggest benefit to me. Now I do a meditation or two every day. I've learned so much about the nervous system. Thanks to you, I learned, and then that has then spun me off into learning from other podcasts and reading books and things like that. So I've learned a lot more about it. The MAP rapid rewire was really interesting. I sort of feel like I'm a computer when they're talking. I feel like I'm a computer and somebody's trying to reprogram my brain. And I feel like I think it's beneficial. I mean, I know people say it's beneficial. And then you were telling me that it helps rewire things so that you don't have to go through all the emotions that I'm going through. Maybe that would help you short circuit some of that. And that would be wonderful. So I'm just going to keep doing some more of the MAP sessions. I haven't done those as much as I did the brain retraining. I do the brain retraining all the time, like a lot. Let's see, you asked about meditation. I just started the hypnosis ones about 4 days ago. So I've been doing that. I really like that. Did I forget any?
That's it really. And maybe breath work, did you use a bit of that?
So I've always used breath work because of being an occupational therapist. I've known a lot about breath work and yoga. I do a lot of yoga. So the breath work, I do some, I wouldn't say I increased it a bunch. I sort of still do about the same amount as I did before. This one I do, this one that you got.
Vagus nerve tools. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that one. That's just an easy one to do. And then some Qigong. I didn't know about Qigong, so I do some of that sometimes too. And I like that a lot.
Good. Yeah, that's wonderful somatic movement. So looking back now, if you hadn't started the program when you did back in December, where would you be now?
I would still be living my life in 30-minute increments, because anytime I would do that every second body scan and I would realize, oops, something's off, and I would take my medicine or eat my food or do whatever I needed to do, I knew I had 30 minutes before an attack of weakness or paralysis fully onset. And so I had to prepare for every scenario so that in 30 minutes I could be at safety. If I was driving, I had to be home in 30 minutes. So I'm not living in 30-minute increments anymore, and I would still be doing that. On my own, I had made a bunch of progress over the past 3 years since my symptoms, because I was just initially, when my disease onset, I sometimes couldn't feed myself, couldn't dress myself, couldn't get out of bed, I was completely housebound and couchbound, couldn't drive, couldn't participate in life. So until I found you, I had done a lot of my own work on improving, and doctors and reading and research and trying different things. So I had gotten 50% of my life back, but had I not started with you, I would still be at 50% of my life back. You changed my life. You gave me my life back.
I'm so glad. It makes me thrilled every time I see, someone like you, Lindsey, who, you just grabbed the program with both hands and you just jumped in, and I can just see how, amazing your results have been. And I'm just so thrilled for where you're going to go in the future, which is just brilliant. So how would you describe the course to someone else, and your outcome from the course to someone else? If someone's watching this video now and they're thinking about it, what would you say?
Well, I would say you should for sure do it. If you have any inkling of belief that it will work for you, I believe it will work for you. I believe it starts with believing that it will work for you. maybe Luann has had other experiences where people, didn't believe and it still worked. I don't know. But for me, it took this deep belief that it would work. And then I think you should do it. I think you should do this program because there's a possibility that it will give your life back. And there's a huge possibility. And my circumstances were pretty dire, but Angie's, who I'm sure Luann can link Angie's video, Angie's were way more dire than mine. And she's just a walking miracle. I feel like a walking miracle too. But if you need belief, then look at my story or look at Angie's story. You can heal yourself. Now, the other thing I want to say is that it's not easy. And that's the hard part to swallow, because when you are in such dire straits, you want easy. You're so sick of hard. You've been doing hard for so long and you want something that's easy. It's not easy.
No.
But you just have to keep doing it. And so in that December, when I still wasn't getting any better, it was not easy to keep doing it. But then literally on January 1st, I've heard Luann talk about this, Angie talks about it, the switch flipped for me. And I was just better from January 1st on. So that's something I want to say. You've got to it's hard. It's not easy, but it will work and it will give you your life back. And then this is the part I just was hoping, I was thinking that after such a hard 3.5 years that I was living with this disease, that once I was cured of it, which I feel cured of it, I just felt like my life would be great and it would be so easy and everything would be simple. And I hit a hard reality there. It still isn't simple. And I hesitate telling you this, except that you, the viewer, but I want you to not think it's all roses, because
life is still roses.
Yeah, it will be all roses. I believe that. But right now I'm having this new unexpected onset of severe anxiety. I've had anxiety in my life before, but I had none the past 3.5 years, none. And then it just hit like a truck, and it's awful to deal with. But the difference is now I have all of these tools that I learned from Luann. I know I can heal myself from the anxiety, just like I healed myself from the periodic paralysis, because of the brain retraining, all of the nervous system work that I've learned from Luann. So I just want you to know that once you cure yourself and you're like, thank you, I'm home free, you might not be. And that's that's a sad reality. I wish.
Well, the reality is, I mean, we all have, family issues, people have car accidents or family may pass away. These things happen to us in life. And the important thing is having the tools, because once you've got the tools, then you can manage anything, because you are capable and your nervous system is well regulated, and a well regulated nervous system is the key.
I'm learning that. It's still a work in progress, but those primary symptoms are gone, and it's amazing. I can actually consider getting a job now. I mean, that was not on my radar possibly ever again.
Yeah. So now you're looking at getting back into work, which is wonderful. And that's just in, 4 months.
Yeah. I can't believe it.
Amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah. And, you've got all the tools now, so you can keep using them, which is brilliant. And you've got so much potential ahead of you, which is just wonderful to see. And I'm excited to see what you do, because I believe that you've got a lot to bring to this space too.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah. So have you got any final words?
My final words are, if you are sick and suffering, you need to sign up for this course, because it can heal you and you can heal yourself. And then whatever you encounter in the future, you'll have the tools to deal with it and continue to heal yourself. And you'll open up this future that you never knew possible.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lindsey. And I'm wishing you the absolute best for your future.
Thank you. I appreciate everything you've done for me, Luann.
Thanks. All right.